Now, the purpose of Zen is very simple in base. It is the individual clarifying the facts of life on all of the levels with which he is associated. We all have different life patterns, but we all live in the same basic life situation. And our adjustment to that situation is the secret of health or sickness, life or death, wealth or poverty. Now, the adjustment of the individual to his world is not what he's trying to do in most cases. What he is trying to do is make his world adjust to him. He expects to be master of every situation, and in due time he is mastered by every situation. He cannot achieve his primary goal, which is to be the ruler of the world. The only thing he can ever rule well and efficiently is himself. So here we have a man who wants to become a happy, well-adjusted, well-balanced investor or merchant. The first thing he has to do is really to become a Zen man. He has to get over the first of the great hindrances, and that is his belief in the sanctity of his own processes. He has to face the fact with perfect certainty of clarity. He cannot afford to make any speculation that he cannot afford. He cannot do anything that hazards his peace of mind. If he has more than he knows what to do with, that's different. But even then, we notice that the ones with the most suffer the most from a small loss. So it can't be based on that. But your stock expert must be a completely self-integrated person. He must be an individual balanced in pain and pleasure. He must be capable of taking loss as pleasantly as he takes gain. He must realize from the beginning that he is playing on a checkerboard, and that nothing that he buys or sells has any value except what he puts on it. We are under an economic system, and everybody values these factors, but every so often we get a nasty bump when we try to progress these matters further. We are today in the collapse of a great financial system. We are in it because nobody had any background in Zen. Having decided to become a Zen man in this matter, the investor must look upon his investment as a kind of symbol, something that he should learn from. Now, of course, one of the problems in this field is education. We hear all about education. We watch the books and textbooks that are issued. Listen to the various accounts of what should be done with education. But we do not find any clear statement for young people as we would find it in the case of the Zen man. The Zen man would say that education is the individual growing up into his own maturity, and he must be helped by whatever means helps him to be himself and does not merely make him a profitable unit in something that has no existence to start with. In other words, the education of today is to fit us into the economic theory rather than to help us to raise it, improve it, or escape from it. And it's the same thing with all investment problems. The investment is more or less the heart of the entire economic system. It all depends for the circulation throughout the arterial structure of economy that the financial situation be kept above water. It must be maintained. But it's reaching a point where it cannot be. And it never was really solvent. There's never been a time when there's really been solvent in the sense of security. It's always been that your securities were insecure. And this is a very important point. Now, a Zen man might say, what is growth? What can we do to make this situation one of permanent value to ourselves? The answer is, to grow means to outgrow or overgrow a condition that exists. Growth is a progress. It is not measured in wealth, is not measured in national incomes or products or in sales and investments. Growth is an unleashing of a greater measure of enlightenment. Growth is to become wiser, better, and happier. And the civilization that we now have will not confer these virtues upon us very easily. A happy person today who is not simply mentally deranged is very far hard to find. And even the happiness we have is very perishable and can be dispersed or destroyed by some passing event. So the Zen man starts by saying, what do we need? What is the thing that we're trying to do? We have come into this world with a gift of some nature. We have a mind capable of thinking. We have a heart capable of loving. We have a body capable of serving. We have all kinds of opportunities, and we have an ingenuity with which to invent and devise things. Now, if all these abilities are used properly, we are a very constructive unit in society. We are something that can help others and can help ourselves. But our primary purpose is to unfold through ourselves the universal truths that are the foundation of existence. We are here to manifest reality. We are here to accomplish in daily action the wonders that we read about in books. We are simply not here to be better than our neighbor. We are here every day to be a little better than ourselves. There is no place in growth for competition. The moment competition comes in, ulterior motive is there, and Zen dies. Zen was therefore the effortless effort by means of which the simple reality in ourselves will come out if we don't block it. The individual who tries to be good seldom succeeds. The individual who becomes within himself a better person is good without frustrating any of his natural inclinations, because his inclinations have been purified. Education has not emphasized that the true human being is one who can live with himself without breaking the laws of nature or without destroying the happiness of others. This type of knowledge we don't have. We have no realization of the interrelationship between knowledge as we gain it here and wisdom. It's a natural and eternal foundation. Education is to become aware of the realities. And when we apply this to the stock exchange, we have to say we have to become aware of the motivations, of the values, principles, and technical processes by which this institution is maintained. And if we do this, we will begin to discern day by day more and more of the illusion that has been taken to mean success. We will become more and more aware that in that problem, we are not only in great danger of physical, financial loss, but even greater danger of moral and spiritual loss. Every individual should check upon his own conduct. There's no use putting a psychiatrist on it. It's not necessary. They can't do anything for the most part if the individual himself does not want to. And the individual who really wants to is a person who desires to have a better life, to get over all the frictions and losses and sorrows and struggles that have been his burden since the beginning of his existence here. It's a matter of getting hold of these things and doing something about them. Then in the morning, when he gets up, or while he's still in bed, give 10 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever time is available, to a plan for a good action that day. That some bill that's been called, we'll pay it. Some friend we should have called up on the phone, we'll call them. Some neighbor who asked a favor, we will try and grant it. If we have visitors coming in, we will be prepared for them. If we don't want them, we should not invite them. And if we do invite them and they come, we should be nice to them. We should try to make things as they are, factual, simple, direct, and with all these things, no regrets, no wishing they hadn't come, no wondering why they didn't do something better, not blaming someone because they didn't send us a Christmas card, getting rid of all this type of thing, and live in a quiet, calm acceptance of the inevitability of the now, that we are here to, in a quiet and steadfast way, unfold the locked potential within ourselves. So the Zen man says you can have anything you can have that doesn't hurt you. You can do anything with yourself that you know inside of yourself you will not regret. If you are sure that what you are doing is right for you, you do it, and you pay no attention whatsoever to the hindrances. If you are wrong, you will be told in due time by nature that you are wrong. But if you meant well and did the best you could, that's all that's expected of anyone. So if you want to put a few $100,000 in the stock market and you don't mind losing it, and you'll be just as happy if you do lose it, you may then be one of the few who win, because life is just like that. In the article on Zen and archery, this man was a good archer, quite a champion with bow and arrow. And there is a building, Sanju Sangendo in Japan, the site of which is an archery range. This is about 600 feet, good long range. And the Japanese archers were very good. They had a small target, but they hit it very regularly. But this American had very deep trouble trying to hit the center of the target. He stood and he stretched the bow and he looked down the shaft, the arrow, and he wiggled and twisted and pulled and tightened and closed his eyes and opened them again and blinked and tried to find the target and always missed. So the Zen man came along and talked to him. Who was it? He said, "Don't do it that way. You'll never hit it if you do it that way. If what you want to do is just simply take the bow as though you were a small child and you didn't care where you hit. Throw the bow in the direction you know it should go. Let nature's instinct guide you. And just let go of the arrow." You did it and hit a bullseye. He then found out that tension was the thing that was destroying his archery. Tension is the thing that destroys the stockbroker. Tension is the thing that brings the stock market down. Tension is the thing that breaks homes, destroys health, and does all kinds of foolish and silly things to people. Zen says don't have it. Whatever you do it with all your spirit and with all your complete self-discipline. If you're going to fall off of something, fall off and relax completely. And sort of say to yourself, here goes nothing. And you probably won't be hurt. Brace with everything you've got and you'll break your neck. Tension, therefore, is one of the things in business and in home life and in everything that you do. The tense broker is going to have a nervous breakdown after every drop in the stock market. Everywhere tension, stress, and the building up of defenses against truth are dangerous occupations. There's something about the human being that is divine, even at his worst moments. But there's something there that is tremendous, infinite, something indescribable. The physician can never sound its depths. The religionist can never understand its functions. The philosopher can never fully comprehend its meaning. But all these things meet together to one tremendous thing, that the human being, as the Zen man says, is a creature capable of molding itself into the perfection that it needs and nature demands of it. The Zen man knows that he was born to grow. He wasn't born to have. If he has, he'll endure it. He wasn't born to have not. If he has not, he will endure that. He wasn't born to lead other men. Well, then he will be born as a follower and will follow. But whatever it is, he will never for a moment lose the nature of the divine purpose within himself. He will learn that all things in which he is inadequate are tests of himself. They are the hindrances that he must overcome. And until he overcomes them, he cannot expect anything but the discomforts that are his daily companions along the way of life. So if you want to be a stockbroker, always say, I am well conditioned. I will never be sorry if I lose. If you want to be a very wealthy man, say, I will never be sorry what I lose. And if I take it to the grave, I will only hope that my descendants will not abuse what I abused to get it. All the way along, we have these problems to face. But Zen is a philosophy of facing them gently, simply, kindly, softly, but immovably. Zen never for a moment compromising its principles. The stock market Zen man, while the business was honorably done, would probably serve it as well as he could. But the moment the time comes when corruption creeps in, a Zen man will step out. He will not for a moment allow himself to be soiled by association with that which he cannot believe to be true. If we would all step out of what we don't believe, we'd find some big changes in this world. You'd find we'd have much better people in better positions if we demanded of them an integrity, and we're not worrying so much about their political allegiances. What we need is to support that which is true. And if that which is available is not true, we will build our own inner life on our own. We will correct our own mistakes. We will properly use our own resources. And we will never fail in family or friendship or health or sickness or work or companionship to live according to a principle of integrity. The true life of the Zen man is happier than any other person can possibly be, because he cannot lose. He has no sense of loss, no sense of gain, only sense of service, only sense of being true to the great universal structure to which he belongs. He becomes part of the great motion of life toward the fulfillment of itself. This is the true journey. And no one who takes that journey weeps over it, or is sorrow about it, or is tired as a result of it. We are always sick and tired and worried and defeated because we are wrong in our conduct. If we are right in our conduct, this fades away, and we discover an immutable good, a tremendous value, a great and marvelous extension of consciousness, so that we can meet the problems of the day without problem or without sorrow.